What if I told you the US and Israel didn't just wake up one day and decide to bomb Iran? But that this attack was the endgame of years of calculated moves, hidden fears, and broken promises? In this video, we're cutting through the media noise to reveal the real reasons behind the latest US-Israel strikes deep inside Iran. From nuclear nightmares and shadow wars to oil stakes and superpower chess, I'll walk you through it step by step. Stick around till the end, because I'll also tell you what happens next, and why your gas prices and grocery bills could be affected. Everyone loves a good conspiracy theory about why big powers go to war, but the truth is often simpler and more terrifying. It comes down to three core fears that have been building since the Gaza war exploded everything open. First, Iran's nuclear program. Second, regional domination and oil control. Third, the brutal reality of alliances and deterrence. Let's start with the nuclear nightmare that's haunted leaders in Washington and Jerusalem for decades. Iran's nuclear ambitions aren't new. But by 2025, intelligence reports were screaming that Tehran was months, not years, away from a bomb. Israeli leaders called it the breakout point, that magic moment when Iran could sprint to a weapon faster than anyone could stop them. Throughout 2023 and 2024, while the world watched Gaza burn, Iran was quietly enriching uranium to near weapons grade, installing advanced centrifuges at hidden sites, testing ballistic missiles that could carry nuclear warheads across the Middle East. Israel had already been hitting back in the shadows. Assassinations of Iranian nuclear scientists, cyber attacks like Stuxnet 2.0 on Natanz and Fordo, sabotage explosions at missile factories. But shadows only go so far. By mid-2025, during the open Israel-Iran clashes, Israel launched direct strikes on nuclear-related facilities. Iran fired back with hundreds of missiles and drones at Israeli cities. Casualties mounted, and the US watched nervously from the sidelines. Why didn't America jump in immediately? Because presidents prefer diplomacy over bombs, until diplomacy fails completely. Enter 2026. US negotiators sat down with Iran in Geneva and Oman. The pitch: limit your nukes, open inspections, and we'll ease sanctions. Iran's response: we keep our program, you back off Israel, and no more strikes. Trust was already zero. US intelligence showed Iran dispersing nuclear materials, hardening missile sites, and arming proxies like Hezbollah with precision weapons. The talks collapsed by late February, and that's when the real reason number one kicked in: prevent Iran from ever getting the bomb no matter the cost. But nukes aren't the only reason. Reason number two is all about oil, shipping lanes, and who controls the Middle East. Think about the geography. Iran sits on the Strait of Hormuz, the choke point for 20% of the world's oil. Any war there sends pump prices skyrocketing overnight. But for the US and its Gulf allies like Saudi Arabia, an armed Iran is worse than high prices. Iran's strategy has always been asymmetric warfare. Arm the Houthis in Yemen to attack Red Sea shipping. Fund militias in Iraq to hit US bases. Push Hezbollah to rain rockets on Israel from Lebanon. By 2025 to 2026, these proxies had turned the region into a tinderbox. Gaza rockets, Lebanese border clashes, drone attacks on Saudi oil fields. The US has 40,000 troops stationed across the Gulf. Israel faces enemies on 7 fronts. The strikes on Iran's missile factories, air defenses, and command centers? That's not just about nukes. It's about neutering Iran's ability to close the Gulf, blockade Israel, or ignite a multi-front war. Saudi Arabia, UAE, and even Qatar quietly cheered these attacks, because a weakened Iran means they sleep better at night. Now reason number three, the one nobody talks about openly: great power rivalry and the Trump doctrine. Remember, Donald Trump is back in the White House. His approach to Iran has always been maximum pressure. No more Obama-era sweetheart deals. Rip up the nuclear agreement. Impose crushing sanctions. And if Iran steps out of line, hit them hard. Russia and China have been Iran's biggest backers, supplying drones, missiles, and money while the West dithers. The US sees these strikes as a message. We draw red lines, and we enforce them. No nuclear Iran, no domination of the Gulf, no veto power over global energy. Israel's prime minister made it crystal clear. This was not a choice. It was a necessity to protect our survival. So when the talks died, the planes took off. Waves of F-35s, F-15 and U.S. bunker busters hammered targets from Isfahan to the Caspian Sea. Nuclear sites degraded, missile stockpiles destroyed, air defenses blinded. Iran vowed revenge, world markets tanked, Europe called for restraint, but the real reason was locked in long before the first bomb fell. Let me tie this together for you.